Hello.
Hi, Kate. How are you?
Me.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. So we have 4 of us, so we're able to start. I am calling to order this Park and Recreation special meeting at 7:04 p.m. I do not believe that we need to elevate any alternates at this time. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, great.
Can someone just read to me who's here?
Yes. So it's Kate,
Okay,
Blythe,
yeah,
Biz,
okay,
Diane, and John.
okay.
Okay. And I don't see any members of the public for public comment right now. So we can, just one quick note for everybody. While I would love to keep this to an hour this evening, I have a hard stop at 8:30 tonight. So we'll just keep that in mind.
Hey, Julia,
Yes.
1 second. There was supposed to be somebody coming on for public comment, but can we wait till last for that? Can we put that to the last? They might be tied up in something else and they might be coming a little bit late.
Okay, well, they're always welcome to submit something written to us as well, but we do have a lot to get through tonight. But they are
I
welcome.
also just want to say I've got a parent phone call at 7:45.
Okay.
So sorry, I have a student in crisis, so I have to talk to a parent tonight.
Totally understood. Okay. All right. So let's get moving then. So on to parks and facilities. Do you have a parks update, Jared?
Yeah, just a very few things. I'll keep it brief. All right, so just going around the 2 parks and the fields. So the fields, Julia and I were down there a couple weeks ago. We laid out in a whole soccer field. We painted it, looking really good. The grass is actually in decent shape considering how little rain we got. But soccer's been going on the fields. Everything's been good. So we're good over there. The baseball fields needed a good amount of weeding, about halfway through that, and hopefully we'll have it all done next week. And then Ed and I are going to do some more intensive work to the edges and some of the baseline, some rototilling, get some new clay in, but we haven't gotten to that just yet. Otherwise, the fields are in decent shape. To help the school set up their soccer field out there probably early next week so they can start playing the school games, and we're doing good. Kent Commons is, it's good. Not a whole lot going on over there other than tennis and the usual walkers and whatnot, but the park's in pretty good shape. Ed got down all of the engineered, or most of the engineered wood fiber for the playgrounds, so they're looking better, and they're it just freshened up and obviously more in accordance with safety standards. And then over at Emory, Ed's been working really hard to fix some of the drainage problems, expose old culverts, dig some new ones, clean it all out, and it's looking really good. We also had Emmons Tree Company come in and remove all the trees that had to be taken down as well. Ed removed the smaller ones, so we didn't have to pay a tree company to do it. And that's all over at Emory. So those are your 3 parks and those are your updates.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Next on the agenda is a contract for field maintenance of KCS fields.
Yeah. So I realized we had like it was almost like a handshake contract with New England Turf Management, but as far as my record shown, it was time to basically go out, get new pricing again. So I emailed with Miranda, John, Rufus, the playing field subcommittee, and just basically said, here are a few things I want to see a company come out and do. They all agreed. So I got pricing on it. I contacted 4 companies. Only 2 responded. The 2 that responded were True Green and New England Turf Management. And New England Turf came in a little under $1,000 cheaper for the things that we identified as a need. So they would be five fertilizer applications throughout the year, 1 application of lime, 1 application of potassium, and then a combination of aeration and overseeding, which hasn't previously been done. And they came in at $13,529, whereas True Green came in at $14,500. I feel confident and comfortable with both companies, so I believe it's best that we go with the company that came in at the lower price, which would be New England Turf, and that we contract with them for the fiscal year, basically. So it would be, I shouldn't say fiscal year, I'm sorry, for the basically for the what would be the start of this school year through the end of the summer of next year. So long as everyone's cool with that, I say we approve it and move forward. But if you have any questions, of course, I'm happy to answer it.
Yeah, I've got one for you, Jared. Apparently fertilizer is going to be in short supply. Can we get locked in at that price?
Yeah, so that is locked in for the year.
Okay.
That was for all 5 applications. So we are locked in. I can even honestly, at least we can approve this year contract. I'll see if they're willing to even lock us in for further years, and then we can obviously go back and approve. We can at the next meeting approve additional 2 years or whatever. So I'll reach out to them for sure, provided we approve it tonight. Yeah.
I make a motion, we accept that bidding from New England Turf Management.
Second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Nope. Okay, great. Thank you, guys.
Excellent. So John made the grant. Who seconded it?
I did.
Life.
Okay, thank you, Blythe.
And Jared, for your template, Michael's on now as well.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, next up, tennis court services.
All right. So I had Hingding, which was the company that installed the tennis courts or did the tennis courts the first time, come down because there are some damaged pieces to the posts that hold up the net. And I just said, why don't you guys come? I don't know a ton about tennis courts. Tell me what kind of work, needs to be done, etc. So they sent over a whole proposal of potential work that could be done. I spoke with Julia and Michael because they're obviously much more experienced with tennis than I am, just to kind of get their opinion. Hingding basically included every single possible thing we could want to do, from repainting, cleaning, repainting, the whole 9. Julia and Michael were both kind of in agreement that it doesn't need to be repainted right now, especially because it's at the end of the day, it's a very expensive process to repaint, and it's good enough. Is it the best, brightest, most beautiful tennis court in the history of the world? Absolutely not, but it's very nice, and it's not worth spending 13 grand to repaint it. It's not MLS court. So that MLS is soccer. It's not a USTA tournament court. So what I would like to suggest, though, and this would require me to go get more pricing, but we still have a ton of interest in pickleball in the community. I think it's something you guys discussed even long before I got here. I think it would be a great addition. And so Hingding did give us pricing on that. So to clean the court, which would have to be done before we paint additional lines, and it also does need to be cleaned. There's quite a bit of mold and mildew around the edges. So cleaning it would be, at least according to them, this is without getting other pricing, but we're looking about $3,500 plus another $1,500, give or take, for any repairs, because there are chips in some of the surfacing. So we're looking at there, that's about $5,000. And then to paint pickleball lines would be about $2,000, and we wouldn't be painting those lines on the tennis courts. So what I mean by that is the tennis court wouldn't become a pickleball court. They would get a totally new net. We'd get a roll-in net, a portable net that you can just roll out whenever you want to use it. And the pickleball courts would go perpendicular to the tennis court. So you would have one tennis court would become 2 pickleball courts, and you'd still have the other tennis court available for tennis. So the total for that would be, I'm sorry, let me bring that back up again. That was 5,000. It'd be about $7,000. This is before we go get quotes, which hopefully we could get a little lower than that. So right now I would just like permission to, I don't even know if technically we need to make a motion, but I just would like to begin getting quotes. So hopefully in the spring, we could potentially get the courts cleaned and painted for pickleball. So I just basically wanted to see if everyone was still on board with that plan.
I would be a big fan of this, and I would definitely commit to setting up some, intro to pickleball or some mixer events if we do go forward with this, because I've just seen how my mom lives in Sherman, and so I'm in that town a lot, and they have what Jared described as far as the lines and the rollout courts, and every weekend it's very busy. So I think it would really get used.
Yeah, I was up in I met with Lisa in Salisbury, and she gave me a tour of the facilities up there, and they have actually a pickleball, like it's like a set aside, a court set aside just for pickleball. And she said every day they got people on it for hours every single day. So I think it would be a great addition. And I know, John, at one of our previous meetings, you were talking about continuing to increase our amenities for seniors. Pickleball is a huge sport amongst the senior population as well. So I think it's win-win all around. It's expensive, but we do have, we have the money in the park line. And I firmly believe it would be, we'd be good to spend that on that.
That's great. I'm in support of you doing some more research.
Okay.
Wasn't there a gentleman who wanted to teach pickleball in a meeting a few months back? What happened to that?
I believe that he was in contact with Lynn directly. So I can follow up with her and check on it. He actually lived in Arizona during the winter and was only up here in summers, from what I remember.
Oh, okay.
Got it. Yeah, so what I'll do is you'll go out, basically what I did for the fields, and get quotes from different companies, and see come back to you guys with some numbers, and provided we still feel the same way in a couple of weeks, which I'm sure we will. I think we can knock this out for the springtime. I wouldn't bother doing it in the fall at this point. Wait till the spring. We'll get it cleaned up nice after the winter, paint them, and by late spring, summer, we'll have it running. Like Michael said, got some programs going. We could have it running really well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. On to playground presentation and discussion. So at our last meeting, both Biz and John volunteered to do some background work on what our wants and needs would be for a new play structure at Kent Commons. And I believe that they have a presentation for us with what they've found and suggestions for how we can move forward next. Do you want to go ahead, Biz? I think you would put it together.
Yep, so I'm just gonna share my screen so you guys can see the presentation. Can you guys see it okay?
Yep.
Okay, so what I did is I just went with my family around to some local parks that are popular, things I've heard from my students or other moms around. So I'm just gonna go through those quick, and then I'll talk about what I found. So I mentioned Julie's Jungle at our last meeting. It's like the most amazing playground I've ever been to. Definitely, there's a lot of money in it. It's not funded by a park and rec, but I have the link on the slideshow that I'll share with everyone that lays out the site plan really nice. They did a really nice job with their like phasing of different features. It's just like I wish we could be that good, but we won't be there. Pettibone School, which many of you have probably been to, it's definitely been updated since I was younger. There was a few kids there. There's a decent amount of play space and climbing space for different ages, and they also have multiple swings, including an ADA, accessible swing, which pretty much every playground I went to had. So that's definitely, I think, on the top of our needs list. Youngsfield Playground is one of the favorites among my 4th grade students. They really love the updated features and the zip line, and it was just nicely done. Boyce Park is over in Wingdale, New York. The park itself is really beautiful. They have a lot of different, I don't know, features and buildings, but the playground is really fun. The center piece is super tall and exciting and fun to climb up. And again, just like different features for all ages. Howland Park in Woodbury was built by, I was in touch with Woodbury's Park and Rec and Newtown's Park and Rec, because the person who built this park also built a park in Newtown. That's definitely like a destination playground. Everything's really pristine. I really liked the aesthetic of the wood in this park. And you can see sort of in the forefront, there's this webbed climber. Almost every park we went to has that too.
Hey,
Biz,
Biz.
I think you're showing
Yeah,
us
I
the
think
wrong
you're
slide.
I think you're a
right now.
slide behind. Yeah.
There we
right
go.
there it is. Yeah. Cool.
All right. Now can you see Howland Park?
Nope.
Not yet.
Now we're at Boyce.
Oh, it's so weird. Let me exit out.
You had it before. There it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yep.
Okay. So you can see, like, again, this is wood. They had many different climbers. What they had that was really cool at Howland Park was this big long zip line that, like, I went on, my little daughter went on, and while we were there, that was sort of like a feature that a lot of the kids were going to. So can you see the next one, Dickinson Park?
Nope.
Oh, my thing is slower than what you guys see.
There it is. You got it.
Okay. So Dickinson Park was designed by one of the same people who did Howland Park. What I really love about this park is underneath their playscape is turf. I don't know the exact material, but it really just seamlessly fits in with the surrounding area. It looks really nice. And of course, Newtown's a much larger area, but they have something similar, I would say, like to the path that we have, but I think it's more of a poured surface than, you know, the loose stone that we have, but really just like aesthetically pleasing and fits seamlessly into the park and surrounding landscape. All right, do you guys see popular features now? Or are you still on the other side?
Yeah, we're good.
Nope, we're good.
Okay, so this was just like a list of what I saw at most playgrounds: a web climber, multiple slides, like 3+, a zip line, multiple swing choices, and a play feature for younger children. So then I also talked to my 4th graders, and they came up with a list of playground features that they have seen in playgrounds they've been to. And then with that list, I surveyed Kent Center School 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. So we sort of got like that middle age group. And of course, they were all super excited and thought everything was really cool. But I just made this like quick bar graph sort of showing things they thought would be really interesting. And what I thought was so funny is they loved the like speakers you could talk into and hear from the other end of the playground. That was like such a big hit, but such a simple feature, I thought.
I think, do you need to maybe move forward one for the bar graph? Oh, there we go. Oh, now that's too far. There.
It's hard because
Great.
now
Yeah.
I see something different, but you can
No,
do
that's
bar graph
perfect.
now.
Yes.
Okay, and so that was sort of like my background research, and then using like some other kids aside from my own.
Mhm.
So then I was just thinking tonight, maybe we could come up with, a list of wants and needs for what we envision at Common Park. And I think that would be sort of a good starting place to move forward. So is there anything else you guys would like to see or add that I can sort of type into this so we have a running doc? Or
I'd just like to say it's a nice comprehensive presentation, really well done.
thank you. So while you're thinking about the wants and needs, I sort of was envisioning what our next steps would be, because obviously there's like a lot we have to do in order to make this happen. But I just started with reaching out to local park and rec places. At the bottom of this list, Creative Recreation, they did the playgrounds in New Milford, and they said they were really happy with them. Margie Salt helped design the playground in Woodbury and Newtown with Billy Cohen. Then there's like just the commercial play world, Game Time, you know. So there's tons of different companies out there, but I tried to reach out to people who have a good local track record. So that's sort of where we're at. And I think, yeah.
So I think the next step, I think it's pretty, it's going to be pretty simple, especially because you guys did such good work and research. Really at this point, I think it really is just kind of, you know, we're gonna go out to bid. We have to do a sealed bid for this because it'd be very expensive. So basically what we're gonna have to do is come up with how we want to request bids. And with respect to that, what I mean is, you know, how specific we're gonna get or not specific, what's our price range do we want to be in, things of that nature. And then we literally draw it up. We work with the clerk's office to determine a bid opening date, which really would, I mean, that would be probably Darlene, myself, and Julia. Basically, the whole point of going to sealed bid is so that no one can accuse you of collusion or anything. Basically, all the bids are opened at the same time. It's all public document. And the bids you get are the bids you get. You can either accept them or not accept them, but you can't go back and ask someone to modify, etc. So basically, I'm going off on a tangent, but basically what we need to do is establish what we want to put in the bid request. And as Biz said, you know, that's basically what amenities we want to see. And basically what space at the park we want to use, etc., which I think we kind of already at least have a ballpark idea. So we need to come to an agreement on that, put it into some paperwork, start advertising. We could send it out to anyone and everyone that we know of. I mean, I could think of a dozen playground companies right now. You know, Biz has plenty of lists, and we send it out, and then we get the bids back. When we advertise the bidding process, the date for the sealed opening has already been set. So when bidders pick up a bid packet, it will say, okay, we're going to have a site visit on, I'm just making up dates, October 1st. The bids are due October 15th. The opening is at 12 noon. And then once those bids are opened, we upload them digitally, and the commission basically will decide which bid they want to go with. And what's great about that is because everything was done very fairly, we can determine the best presentation, best playground, not only based on price, but also based on value as well. I'm rambling a little bit, but does that make sense or no?
Well, that's basically the same scenario. I was going to say that, first of all, I mean, you mentioned something before about ARPA funding for the drainage on the Commons Park.
Yeah, that's like 99% a lock. I don't have official word yet, but there doesn't seem to be any reason why we wouldn't get it.
Okay, because you have to be careful. A lot of that area that is a playground now is a mess with bad drainage. So that would be the first thing you would have to do before you put anything on the ground for it.
Yeah, so that's like I said when I would emailed you and Biz back, I think they would go hand in hand, the two processes. And they would, you know, we would also, most of these playground companies have encountered these issues. I worked at the playground company in my previous place, and I said just that, we have drainage issues. And they said, you know, they have engineers on their staff. So, you know, if we have engineered plans and we're doing our own thing, great. But if they need to offer additional expertise, that's something that can all be included, in the process. So I feel confident that we could knock both of these out kind of concurrently. I also believe too, as Ed and Rick have pointed out, a lot of the drainage issues in that area are not due to that area. They're due to what's going on behind it. So there's a very, it seems very likely that we'll be fixing drainage behind the area where we'll be building the playground. So that way the water never gets to that area in the first place, if that makes sense.
Just below the current playground facilities, there's a couple of drains that come out below that area towards the path down below. So we have to be careful. I don't know if anybody has any information on that. That would be great.
I don't have any information on that, but I would hope that whoever we ended up choosing for the playground, that they would be familiar with drainage issues and.
There's currently drainage there right now.
Yeah, no, I just mean that if we were to put in a new playground there, that they would have engineers as part of their package in terms of laying everything out, and keep that in mind and help us and then hopefully we'll have the funding to be solving that issue at the same time too, or doing our best.
My biggest questions are just about the master plan. I hate to keep coming back around to it, but we were in the master plan, we were talking about splash pads and pools and, what are we using Emory for and what are we using Kent Commons for? I mean, have we moved to the point where we're just going to say that we've determined what we're going to use Kent Commons for? We wouldn't consider Emory. We're not going to go for splash pads or pools. We're just ready to go. I just don't know where this all, it's great. And Biz and John, you guys have done a fantastic job, but where, I don't want to put in a playground that then 2 years later, when we finally do a master plan, they say that was the dumbest place to put a dumbest playground to put in or something like that. I don't know where this fits in our master planning process. And that's the thing that throughout the conversation I've been thinking about.
Blythe, we had a meeting a little while back, and at this point, I mean, we had so many date changes and whatever else, I don't know who was where, but we had discussed actually what you just said pretty extensively. And I think the general consensus was, and I know certainly my personal opinion is that, moving forward with some projects is we have to really start doing that. But also we kind of, like I said, the consensus kind of was that this project in this location will not prevent us or preclude us from doing any significant work to the remainder of the park. And specifically, we thought about the pool thing, which would be the biggest thing. Like, let's say at some point in time, we decide we want to put a pool in at Kent Commons. Most of the places that I've seen where pools are, generally there's a playground somewhere anywhere. So that's not the end of the world, but also there's enough real estate on the lower level that I feel pretty confident that we'd be able to, where we're putting the playground wouldn't affect us. And at the end of the day, we would probably design a pool anyway that wouldn't eat into that hillside because of the amount of work it would take, retaining walls, etc. I think even if we were to do a pool as well, we'd be working around that upper platform. So I don't see, in my personal opinion, professional opinion, is I don't see this specific playground and this job affecting any additional amenities we may choose to install or build down the road.
Appreciate that. I guess I wasn't at that meeting, so I just wanted to make sure that had been considered.
Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Blythe, just the other thing that I'd add on that, in that meeting, we had also discussed just using our capital planning as well as sort of a roadmap with the spirit of the work that all the master sorry, that the master plan subcommittee did, which included saying that we needed to improve play areas for all ages. So this was thinking of a way to expand Kent Commons, since it's pretty much a 3 to 5-year-old playground there right now. So in terms of coming up with things that we would be interested in seeing.
What I would if I may, Julie, I don't mean to
Yeah,
interrupt
go
you,
ahead.
but
No,
I would be okay with, if you guys would be all right with it, basically sitting down with Biz and John, taking in some of my experiences as well, and then kind of coming back with like a, I guess we'd say like final presentation of like, hey, here are the things that we've identified. This is how I'll kind of take it from the bidding point of view. This is how we would like to go out to bid. This is what we'd like to do. And then the commission on a whole can take a look at that kind of final presentation and say, oh, well, that's great. Or, oh, no, we're not happy with X, Y, and Z. Is that kind of a process you all would be happy with?
I was going to just add to that, Jared. We could
Yeah.
also send information through the school system to the parents and see what they decide. And then we can use that information to formulate a final plan.
Now, when you say that, Drum, when you say send out information, what are you referring to?
Or we're just going to ask them what would they like to see? What are your kids interested in? I mean, you know, they've got 3 types of playground equipment at the Kent Center School right now. I'm just curious as to what the parents would think. After all, it's the taxpayers' dollars that are going to go towards this.
I'll say what I said in my email. I'm probably in the minority opinion on that. I think you guys as the commission are the representatives of the community. And, you know, along with myself as a paid employee, and then the board of selectmen and whoever else is going to have to approve this. I think we have enough input to safely move forward, especially given the fact that Biz has been in touch with a lot of other communities. So we have intel as well as to what works, what doesn't work. And I feel like just another survey, my personal opinion, I'm not shy to say this. I know you guys probably heard me say it a dozen times. I think it will just kind of bog the process down. And I think that we're qualified and capable to make sound decisions without needing further input. And then it's no insult or anything intended, John. I just want to move forward with it.
And I agree. And I also think because we're going to have to establish the budget, which is going to indicate a large part of what we can and can't do. Like, for example, the surface, there's going to be pros and cons of every surface. And we need to know what those are, the cost and also the sustainability of them and maintenance and all that kind of thing. And I think the turf looks great, but we have to weigh the turf over all the other things. And I think I agree, like putting it out to an entire community of the school, getting all that information out to them, and so they all understand it is going to be challenging or add challenge.
The other thing too,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I also just don't think there's anything like too far out there playground wise that someone would come up with that either a company would like include in their plans, or, my kids have mentioned to me, everything,
yeah,
all the playgrounds were very similar. There was nothing too far out there. So I think, the community would be very happy just by having an updated playground.
yeah.
And honestly, and I can tell you this because I've already done bidding for playgrounds several times in the past. All these companies, I mean, with the way technology and everything has changed and the amenities, these companies know when they're competitively bidding, they need to come back with something that's exciting or they're going to get passed over. So, like I said, when I've done this in the past, you just get a whole bunch of really good proposals, and you're just choosing the best of the best, basically. So, like I said, I'd feel comfortable saying, let's sit down, me, Biz, and John, go over the work they did, put together our real, like, hey, this is our proposal for moving forward. And at the next meeting, we could get it on the agenda, and you guys can either approve it, make amendments to it. And, by the end of October, we're out to bid.
I just have a question about the bidding process. So the subcommittee will be in a sense designing not designing a playground, but saying that you want these 5 features, but are you going to be giving a number? Are you going to tell them what our budget is? So you're going to see what they can do with that budget, with including what you want. Because I'm just imagining, like, if you pick 5 features that you want in the
Yeah.
playground, maybe it's only going to cost half of the budget.
There's 2 schools of thought on that, and I'm actually in your camp, Diane, which is basically you say, we want to see a proposal that does not exceed, I'm just making up a number, 75,000, including installation. And you're basically you're saying to the company, what's the best you could do for us for this? And you're going to get, I mean, we could get 6, 7, 10 bids back on this. Like I said, there's just so many playground companies out there, and they all have very clear parameters and a very clear ceiling. And I think that what you'll get back are really, really rich proposals, really, really impressive proposals. So I'm inclined to say that's the way to do it. But I think discussing with Biz and John and also just discussing with a few other municipalities the way that they've done it, I think will be important.
So it's not necessarily the lowest bid, it's what they can do with the money. And
Yeah,
then-
and ultimately
also
that's the commission's decision. So we bring all the proposals back, and let's say there's a proposal that's good and it's only, I'm making up a number, 10,000, or there's a proposal that's really good and it's 40,000. Well, we might say, you know what, this playground's pretty good and we're going to save 30 grand. Let's go with that. Or you may say, we want the absolute best. This one may be the most expensive, but it's also going to be the absolute most impressive playground anyone could imagine. Let's go for it. So
Right.
you have that's the great thing about the sealed bid process is no one can cry foul because you've done everything the correct way. So when it comes to making the decision, all you need to do is be able to justify it and you're good,
Right. Okay, so we'll basically be getting the most bang for the buck. And the other thing, does it normally include landscaping? Because there isn't a lot of shade in that park. Do they
So-
plant trees?
That could be also a feature that they provide, like some playgrounds have those tarps.
You know,
that
Yeah.
are
I don't know what we're gonna be doing.
rails Going over it.
I don't know what we're gonna be doing with a pool down the line, but I mean, it'd be wonderful to get some shade around the pathway
Mhm.
that people walk on, because in the summer, it's just brutally hot.
One of the people I was in contact with, as I was talking with her, it was more like she's more of a park designer. She's based in New York City. She has a place up here, but she does that landscaping, native plant, so I think bigger picture too, we can sort of look that way, as getting a park designer, not just like a playground designer.
I think that, so I would like to, I think that we need to formally create a subcommittee. If John and Biz and Jared are going to be meeting on this to then present to us, just to make sure we're doing everything correctly. So could I have a motion to create a Kent Commons Playground Subcommittee of Biz, John, and Jared?
So
Um,
moved.
Sorry, keep going. I'll do.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Yeah, we should, just because I'm learning
Mhm.
about subcommittees, establish, I guess it's called a charge. I've never done this before, but a clear definition of what the subcommittee is being formed for. So I would just say basically the subcommittee is being formed to establish, and you guys can correct this, Blythe, you're the wordsmith, to establish a preliminary wish list for the playgrounds to be brought to the commission for ultimate approval. Make that sound better, I guess.
Well, that's pretty good.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll amend the motion to include that we're creating a playground subcommittee of John, Biz, and Jared to establish a preliminary wish list for the Kent Commons Playground to be recommended to the commission.
Perfect.
Give me one sec. Okay, so who made the motion? Julia?
Blythe,
Blythe,
I did.
I'm sorry. Okay, motion made by Blythe, seconded by,
Kate.
I think I did, yeah.
all right.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. Any opposed?
I just want to say one more thing. The Board of Finance is out chopping down some of the budget items, so be careful. I don't think all of our money is going to be there, but let's see what happens. We have to fight it to keep it, so.
Okay. Thank you, John. We appreciate that.
Hey, Julie and I have a meeting with the Board of Finance next month, and they're very eager to hear what we have to say, and I feel confident we'll make a very good presentation for why every bit of money we have is needed and will be spent, you know, that we're not messing around anymore. We're gonna make sure that we're moving forward.
Yeah, because they've been trying to cut $100,000 from the fire department. So.
Yeah. You guys, just a reminder, this is a special meeting, so we have to stay on the agenda. We look forward to you guys coming back with your recommendations at our next meeting. Let's move on to programs. So program and event updates.
All right.
Oh, thank you, Blythe, for joining. Jared, do you want to go ahead?
Yes, so just to go very quickly through the program and event updates. So first and foremost, we're doing phenomenally with our revenue intake, and this was something I was really excited about, and I know Julie has heard me like giddy about it, but we're on pace at this point to exceed revenue by $30,000. So I'm really psyched about that. Soccer alone, we exceeded our entire sports revenue line for the year just off the soccer program. And obviously a lot of that is due to adjusting and I believe correcting our registration fees. But also just the fact that we have 80 kids signed up for soccer. From what I hear, that has like never happened. So we are really, really moving in the right direction. And the revenue is kind of the proof in the pudding. Camp Kent, which we've already discussed, but every single week of Camp Kent was totally full. So we brought in significant revenue. ASP, Tom's doing a fantastic job. Every day we have double-digit kids. Last year we had days with 3 or 4 kids in it. Now every day he's at 12, 13, sometimes, even full at 16 kids. So we're really doing well in that department. And the online registration has totally changed everything. It made soccer tennis so easy for Julia, and ASP, we're getting more signups because it's just that much easier to do it. And there's something to be said for that, So super thrilled with that. Like I said, soccer's going great. We just started advertising our music lesson program, which we had approved a few meetings back. It's going to start in early mid-October. And signups are good so far. It's going to be a small program. It's not going to be a super revenue generator, but I think it's really awesome that we can offer something in the community that's different than the standard sports and standard community activities. This is the arts. It's great that we're dabbling in new fields. And then all of our senior programming is going great. Our first ice cream social we did with social services, we had 25 people show up, which they told me they used to get 8 or 9 people at an event. So that was huge. And then we have this coming Thursday, we have a brunch. We're doing a pancake breakfast basically. And apparently the word, from what Sam's told me in social services, the seniors are talking about it. People are sharing the flyers. So it's really going well. And then I'm working with social services. So every other Tuesday, starting in October, I'm going to do a 2-hour bingo for the seniors at the senior center. So if anybody wants to come and help me host or just hang out and have donuts, I will let you guys know once we kick that off.
Hey, Jared, one question. Has there been any negative feedback about the increase in the fees?
No, actually, it's been totally fine. I had one person who reached out And she said, it was, she asked if, I could work with her because it was a little hard for her to, come up with the money at that point in time. And, I said, absolutely, we could set up a payment plan or whatever else. And she was totally grateful. And it's been a smooth process since, and that was only one out of, everybody. So I think most people understand that if you want to have better programs, it does come at a cost. And what you see is, Julia and I were out lining the soccer fields, it looks like a real soccer field. We have real goals. We have new soccer balls that don't have leather peeling off them and whatever else. We look like a real program now. And like I said, it does come at a cost, but it's, in my opinion, it's a worthwhile expense. And, I think $40 for a 10-week soccer program is, well worth it.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Just checking to see if there was any. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, no, most people totally get it. So
Great.
So yeah, that's it for my updates. Yeah, I don't see anything else, so we're good.
Sorry, I might have zoned out for a second. Did you mention tennis also, that we've had our first?
Oh, I
two
didn't. Yeah.
sessions?
So Julia and Michael, if you guys want to,
Yeah, no, just
on my list. Yeah.
real fast. We've had our first two sessions, and we're offering 2 hours, the first for first and second graders and the second for third and fourth. And we have a cap of 8 students in each session, and both sessions are full and going well. Okay, great. So now let's move on to Halloween events. Jared or Michael, I'm not sure which one of you wants to.
I'll go first
Sure.
for the pumpkin
Thanks, Jared.
painting event. If that's Michael, you good with that?
Great.
Yeah. So basically, I mentioned this to you guys before. I would like to run a pumpkin painting event, no carving, just painting. I want to do it at the community house one evening. Basically, we'd have people register in advance. They pay a nominal fee. It would be $10, but it's, like I said, it'll be worth it. They get a pumpkin, decorating supplies, food, beverages, music. It's a whole little festival party. Basically, we set up a bunch of tables, we decorate, the kids come, they get a pumpkin. There's going to be all sorts of decorating supplies out on the tables for them to decorate, unlimited refreshments, and it'll just be kind of an evening of fun. And I would like to do that on Saturday, the 15th of October. At the Kent Community House, and it is available. I already checked with Joyce, and basically it'll be as simple as throwing registration up on the MyRec and starting to take registrations. Once we know how many people we have, we order the pumpkins from, I don't know what the local patch is around here, but worst case scenario, I have a very good relationship with Dykeman Farm and Pauling. So, we get a box of pumpkins and have at it. So. It's really, really easy event. I mean, literally I'll go on Discount School Supply, order all the supplies, go on Rhode Island Novelty, order some, cool giveaways or goodies, and, then pick up some snacks. So, if you guys are cool with it, let's make a motion and approve it and keep going.
I'll make a motion to have a pumpkin painting event on Saturday, October 15th at the Kent Community House.
Excellent.
I'll second that.
Oh, Michael, you can do it. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Nope. Okay, great. Haunted house is next.
All right, Michael, you want to run point or you want me to?
I'll start and then
Okay.
maybe you can fill in the gaps.
Yep.
So we talked about different types of Halloween events to do, and we feel like doing the haunted house at the community center would be the best event, because it seems like our town is very committed to doing Halloween trick-or-treating and other events that doing like a trunk or treat or something might take away from everyone's plans. So we want to do a haunted house at the community center. Jared, you can tell me if you think this would be in conjunction to the 15th event or maybe the following Saturday. But basically where it stands.
Yeah, I
now
thought the
is-
following, I'm just looking at my
Following,
notes.
yeah.
I thought the following, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm in favor of that too, because it gives us more time, because as I was mentioning, we're gonna need to check our supplies and probably buy some decorations, and we all know how picked over these Halloween stores get the deeper in October we go. So tonight our main goal was to get some get some heads and people commit to helping out. It's not going to be a huge commitment. We're thinking maybe, 1 or 2 pre-meetings and then setting up the Friday before and then the event on the Saturday. But I just think this type of event lends to the more people pitching in, the better, the more planning, the better. And, if someone thinks it's a good idea to open it up to, private groups to participate. I know at one of the drive-in events, we had one of the realtor groups in town have their own setup, but basically my goal tonight is to get a couple people to say, hey, I'd love to help out.
Yeah, that's my sentiments, exactly everything Michael said. And I think Michael and I were both in agreement. It sounds like some years it was really happening and other years it was lackluster. And, I think Michael and I both share the sentiment, like, if we're going to do this, let's really go in on it. Let's do it right. Let's do it big. And let's make it something that's really really attracts people to come out. And let's also make it, like Michael said in the past, it's a 45-second walkthrough. I think we can do better. I think we can make it a more comprehensive event and really get creative, and also tap into resources, people we know who might be, skilled in carpentry or whatnot, who can help us with some building of this or some setup of that, and really turn the whole community house into something kind of spooky and fun. And I think what's great too is, I know in the past some people said it was scary for little kids and whatnot. Well, that's great, because you know what, we have the pumpkin painting event, so it doesn't have to be like for all ages. We can really go all out and make it a true haunted house and get people amped for it. But like Michael said, just kind of establishing, let's get some people who are committed to it, and then let's really sit down, put our heads together, establish what we want to do, how we want to do it, and a timeline to get it done.
I'm not available the weekend of the 22nd, but I am happy to help with all of the prep work going into it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm happy to help with it. I have the same issue on the 22nd. I don't know yet if I'm going to be here. I might be away that weekend, actually, but I'm happy to help get it all set up.
Okay.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think maybe the easiest is going to be to find volunteers night of, but the prep work is the gritty stuff that, any help is going to go a long way. So thank you, Diane and Julia.
Well, I'm the same exact thing. I'm not supposed to be around that weekend either. But
Well, now I'm getting worried, like I'm supposed to have something to do that weekend.
right. Yeah, we're all invited to the same party, and yeah. No, yeah. And one question, why wouldn't you do it on the 29th? Only because it's
my personal feeling is, it seems like the town goes all in on the week Halloween and the 2 days prior. And I think, talking with Michael and I, like, I reached out, as Julia knows, I reached out to all these other organizations in town, and everybody's doing their events that weekend. So
okay,
it's
so
like,
you'd be
let's spread
taking
it out over the
Yeah.
month.
Gotcha. You'd be taking from that. Okay, understood.
And it also, if we're gonna, like Michael said, we need volunteers and people, especially the night of. So not doing it the same day would just increase the likelihood we can get more people, more hands on deck, dressed up in costume and scaring people and whatever else.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Is
cool.
this something that needs a subcommittee? If we're going to be,
Yes, we probably should,
okay.
just to be safe.
So I'd like to put a motion to develop a subcommittee with myself, Julia, Kate, and Diane to put on the Halloween haunted house event on October 22nd at the I'm sorry, what is the location again, Jared?
The
Community
Kent Community House.
Community House. Thank you.
So who's on the subcommittee again? Kate.
Kate, Diane, Julia,
Michael.
Michael.
And myself. Actually, I don't know. Do I even need to be listed as a subcommittee member? I don't think I do. Kate, Diane, Julia, Michael. Okay, excellent. And that isn't to say that other people cannot contribute. Just want to throw that out there. Don't feel like because you were not named in the subcommittee that you can't help us.
I
We all
will
help you
second
do
the
that.
motion for the subcommittee. Sorry,
Sorry,
just
no, that's
to
my fault.
wrap it up. I'll second the motion for the subcommittee. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, great.
Who seconded it?
I did, Julia,
Who made it?
Michael.
All right.
Now on to Halloween family bingo.
1 second, sorry.
Yep.
Okay, bingo. This is an easy one. So we did bingo. I don't know actually if we've had a meeting since the library had their carnival. And as I told you guys, like I told the library, oh, I'll come and I'll run bingo. And it ended up being like wildly successful, which I had a feeling it would, but I didn't know that it would be the most successful thing of probably the entire event. Like we had people there the entire time. I literally called bingo for like 4 straight hours. And everybody loved it. The teenagers, the little kids, the seniors. So I said, would you guys like to see bingo, more often? And they all were like, yeah, absolutely. So I said, well, maybe we'll do a Halloween one. We can decorate the community house and, some fall theme and run bingo, give out some prizes and have a good time.
You are an amazing bingo host. I just want to, we were next to him, the Lions Club, and he was screaming and like the tables were full the whole time. And it was great. It was just, everyone loved it. There were adults there, there were kids there. Jared, you have like a second career if the party.
I'm gonna go to the local boys club and call bingo. Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you, Diane. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was a good event. It was a lot of fun, and it was great to see everybody coming over to the Park and Rec tent and hanging out. Especially the older kids, which is a population we still need to kind of determine ways to get them involved. So having them involved was so cool. And when I told them the Halloween bingo, they're all like, absolutely. So I feel like there'd be good word of mouth to get people to sign up. It would be a free event. The reason for that is because if you were to charge, then it really gets dicey with the whole gambling thing. So whenever you do bingo, it's just best to do it for free. So we don't get in trouble with the gaming commission. So yeah, I would like to run that on the 8th. So that would give us three Saturdays of Halloween themed events, the 8th for bingo, 15th for the pumpkin painting, and the 22nd for the haunted house. And then come the 29th, we could all hang out and just go enjoy whatever. So yeah, I would just like, I mean, it's a free program. I don't know what approval needs to be done, but we'll make the motion, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So
I'll make a motion to run Halloween, for Jared to run Halloween bingo on October 8th.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, awesome. We have a good lineup. Now finally, glow bracelets on Halloween.
yeah, I don't know anything about this, but I was told in the past Park and Rec has handed them out on Halloween night. So Darlene, in her capacity with the Lions Club, asked me if we'd be doing that again. I know I will not be here on Halloween. So I told her that I'd ask you guys what the plan was, if there was any, and just relay it to her.
I actually talked to Darlene. I had a Lions thing tonight earlier, and she said that just to let everyone know that they'll be the Lions Club will be happy to hand they always buy the glow necklaces, and they'll be also happy to hand them out if you want them to.
It's up to you guys, whatever works for you guys. Like I said, I won't be here, unfortunately. So
I would not be able to help out with handing them out on Halloween evening, so I'm okay with the Lions Club doing it, unless someone here wants to join them in helping out.
Lions Club it is.
Okay, well, I'll let Darlene know, and if anyone changes their mind and wants to come down, and feel free. So
Thanks, Diane.
Yeah, thank you, Diane.
Diane, just so you know, Darlene said you guys normally spend like $500 on the glow bracelets. I don't know if you use Rhode Island Novelty, but you could get 50 glow bracelets for like $15. Not bracelets, necklaces. So that's something to check out if you guys want to save some money.
What is it, Rhode Island?
Yeah, so it's rinovelty.com.
Okay, all right, I don't know where she gets, yeah, I don't know where they ordered them from last time, I'll find
Yeah.
out.
Those they're from what I found, they're the cheapest, cheapest place to go.
Okay, all right, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, we have reached the end of our agenda for this evening. Again, Biz and John, thank you guys so much. Also, just quickly adding, I think it's awesome that Biz pulled the kids at school, because then when we actually do have a new playground in place, they're all going to remember when they got to give their input.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll be really
100%.
excited. So that's very exciting. Thank you. All right, I am going to adjourn this.
Hold up. Can we, I know Megan, John, I think Megan was who John was referring to earlier. Can we just have her say, she sat through the whole meeting. I mean, I know it's out of order, but can we
Yes.
have her say her comment? Yeah.
Sorry, I had a link that was asking for a passcode and I couldn't join. And then
Oh.
Jared sent me the link with no passcode. So I don't know what John said. But so at Kent School, we have a third form day of service, a freshman day of service on October 12th, which is a Wednesday morning. And we have kids, our entire freshman class, all 90 of them, go to about 20 different locations and do service projects in the morning. So we are just casting about and looking for any projects that people need done in town. I'm not quite sure what else John said about that.
He didn't say anything, actually, so.
Oh,
He did not say
awesome.
anything
Here I
about
am telling you about it.
Real quick, I'll just tell you, in previous years, it goes back about at least 15 years anyhow. So basically, before Leslie left, she created a form, a waiver of liability form that the Kent students sign and the supervisor. And normally what we do is we have a supervisor from Kent School with the kids. And we also have somebody from the Park and Rec monitoring them. So, and it's only for an hour, right, Meg?
But what, 2 hours? So you guys are in town, so we could do like a 2.5 hour project.
Okay, Megan, would you like me to identify some things that I think might be good?
Easy ones.
Yes.
No, we're gonna make it hard, pulling weeds at the Kent Center School infields.
Maybe
No,
we
yeah,
should
I'll
have some
identify
help with the
some-
haunted house.
Yes.
Like
that's
setting
actually
up for it.
October,
Yeah,
what
they're
did you
gonna
say?
need like really good, like you guys, they
Clear
when they need
directions,
a
yeah.
plan. So like someone there. So I will bring the students and chaperones, but they'll need someone there to say like, okay, this is what we're doing, and to lead them. So someone from you guys,
What day
Okay.
was that?
Wednesday, October 12th.
Megan, can I get your email? Because I'm also part of the nursery school board and I bet I don't know if you've contacted
Oh,
them, but I bet they would
contacted
love.
Anna.
Okay, great. Okay, perfect. Thanks.
And normally we have Marblewood too, but I don't think she's going to be doing it this year. So.
Okay.
I think the idea of assisting us with whatever haunted house work
Pumpkin
we're
Pizza,
at that
yeah.
stage of the game, I think would be great. So why don't I follow up with you on that, especially once the subcommittee has its first meeting and we establish, like I said, our timeline, what we want to do, how we want to do it. Then once we identify specific projects we need to accomplish along the way, we'll kind of know what will fall into the range or the date that you guys can help out. And I think that would be awesome. I think we could accomplish a lot.
Okay, perfect. That sounds wonderful.
Awesome.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Great.
you for letting me join. Sorry, I was late.
Oh,
No,
thanks.
no worries.
Thanks, Meg.
All right, so I am adjourning this meeting at 8:06 p.m. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everyone.